Shalom, shalom, shalom. Welcome, 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 everyone, to a live episode of Office Hours with Sharon. It's Thursday, December the 4th, 2025, and the year is winding down. So we've got to get ourselves together with finishing things that we have not finished, that we said we were going to do in 2025, and begin the new year off with a bang. And so, to that end, we have a great, wonderful, powerful therapist who also happens to be my relative. You know, in our family, we have great, wonderful people. And so, Romain Diaz, she is a dance movement therapist. She's a licensed professional counselor like myself. She's a wellness coach, and she is wonderful in what she does. She's a powerful therapist. And so, she is joining us this evening. And for the next 3 weeks, this is a 3 week workshop series, and it's a therapeutic visioning experience. So we're all going to be doing vision boards, and there's different ways to do it, and Romain is going to explain it. If I happen to say Nikki versus Romain, that's her name as well, her middle name, and so because she's my relative, my cousin, you know, we call her Nikki. So sometimes I forget to say the professional name. So if it's interchanged, I'm talking about the same person, but I'll try to stick with Romain if I remember. So she's going to talk to us about this powerful experience of doing a vision board. And it's not your typical vision board, because remember, she's a therapist. So it's going to be very involved with us, understanding ourselves better, and who we are, our identity, right? And where it is that we say we want to go, with all that encompasses us, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because we take that everywhere we go. But we also, too, we want to heal from those things that aren't the best part of ourselves, right? And we want to grow and we want to develop. So all of that and more is a part of this therapeutic visioning experience that Nikki Romain is going to take us through. So if I were you, I would tell my friends, tell my family, tell everyone right now, send them a text, right? Send them something on social media, share this video, because this is going to be the most powerful vision board that you've ever done in your life, unless you've already done one with Nikki before, with Romain before. So let everybody know. Again, it is 3 weeks. This is the first of the 3-week series. So Office Hours with Sharon airs every Thursday at 8 p.m. So for the next 3 Thursdays, today and the next 2 Thursdays, Nikki's going to be on, and it's 3 parts. So you don't want to miss part 1. So tell the people right now. And if you're watching right now, get a pen, get a paper, so you can take some notes. But again, she's going to walk us through the whole entire process, and it's going to be amazing. So I want you to know, I'm going to introduce Romain right now. But again, share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow the channel, all that good stuff. So without further ado, the illustrious, the wonderful, the cuzzo, I'm going to bring on Romain Nicole. That's where Nikki comes from. Diaz. Hey.
Hello. I am so
How
excited.
Are you, cousin?
I am blessed. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. I'm excited. So as we go on this journey, you might see me take off my scarf a little bit, because I'm gonna get a little warm and hot and excited, and then I'm gonna put it back on. So I'm gonna be
do you?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm ready. Come in after scarf. All right, so I'm just so excited to just join you today in your show. And
you're a friend to Full Life Communications, because you've been on Faith Walk so many times. This is your first time on Office Hours with Sharon. But again, Full Life Communications, whatever show, you know what I mean? You're a friend, of the show. And of course,
absolutely. And hopefully next time we'll bring some members of my team.
Absolutely. Hey, whatever we want to do.
Yeah, we have a wonderful team of 9. It's 10 of us all together. So we just love doing this work. So we're going to jump right on in, you guys. And I was just talking to my cousin, talking to Sharon before we logged in together with each other, how we really want to make this interactive. And so for anybody out there who I am your clinician and you're joining in, you know how I kind of roll. I kind of pull back the Band-Aid just a little bit, Sometimes we rip it off. Sometimes we take a little peek, put a little, Neosporin, just to like help us out in this healing journey. And I ask that you kind of take notes for yourself, grab a piece of paper and pencil, because there's things that I want you to just notice about yourself and jot those things down so we can talk about this journey that you are on. Because what happens is our voices are very powerful. Our words are very powerful when we write and create. So you want to definitely remember these things and take it in. So the first thing I'm going to ask everyone to do is just take a breath. We worked all day. The kids went to school. Your spouses or mate or partners went to work. We came back. We ate dinner. We're just trying to figure out how to wind our day. So we appreciate you for coming and joining us today and spending your time, because time is precious, right? So thank you for doing that for yourself. So we're going to ask you just to take a minute. All right, we'll take a couple seconds, right? We have a lot of good stuff going on today. Just take a minute, take a beat. Now I'm just going to ask you to take one breath in and one breath out. All right, so we're going to take one breath in and one breath out. Okay. And we'll go more into how to really navigate these waters of that mindfulness breathing, right? But just taking a beat. And with that said, I want to start off with a question. So here go a question for the group here, Sharon. All right. And I hope that I'm not alone. So when I raise my hand on this one, I need a couple of people at my back. All right. And go.
We believe in transparency on this network. Okay? There's no shame, no blame. We're just real.
Because let me tell you something. Nothing changes if nothing changes.
That's right. And you can't change what you deny.
Right. So, and I got that from a clinician. So, just so you know, we will talk later about not trusting a therapist and never been to therapy. So I got that from there. Right? And that's a whole nother discussion for another day. But anyway, so the question is, who in here has issues focusing on the here and now? I'm putting my hand up. So I need somebody to go, Romain, I got you. Who struggles with being in the here and now?
All right. So Romain, let me say this because I'm typing the question. Yes. I'm better at it than I used to be, but I'm not totally where I want to be with that.
Right. Correct. Mm-hmm. Correct. Because let me tell you, if I could take if you gave me 30 seconds right now, like, all right, Romain, I got to go do something for 30 seconds. By the time you come back, I done had a laundry list of things.
Yes. Yes.
In my head, in my little sticky notes, okay, of things I got to do, remember, etc. You just give me a moment, right? So, the reason why I asked that question, do you struggle with focus on the here and now? When I'm in groups, whether it be adults or kids, but especially adults, a lot of people raise their hands, right? Saying, I have a hard time focusing on the here and now. And that's for multiple reasons. As we said, we have a lot going on. Why is that important to talking about vision boards? Well, if we're thinking about our future and where we're going, we kind of need to focus on the here and now as well, right? We're 30 steps ahead, but where are you at this moment? So why is it a struggle to be on the here and now? Is it anxiety? Is it the unknown? Is it the fact that I am nervous and scared of the next step? I'm nervous to just figure out how I feel at this very moment because I have too much things to do. I got to keep it moving. I don't have time to figure out all these human emotions, the things that make sense, the things that, that's true to you, that's valid, right? And these things can change, of course, of a day. You can wake up and be in a not so good mood, wake on the other side of the bed, and then by the time you had your coffee or your tea, you brighten up a little bit, day gets a little bit better, and you start winding down at the midday. So things can change, but learning how to be in the here and now. So please feel free to type in your comment about why is it a struggle to be in the here and now? What do you think, Sharon?
So for me, and this is a daily struggle, right? Because my mom will tell me something, and I always text it to me, because between me leaving her from downstairs, literally, me going upstairs, I will forget. Right. And this happens all the time. I'm going to send out the shopping list, because I have groceries delivered, and send me the list. She'll tell me two things. Don't tell me, because then the groceries will come and you will not have it if you didn't tell me. Right. And so I think one for me, I've got so much on my mind, right, that it's like, and the world is in our heads, right? So when we write things down, we know as therapists, that's why we write goals down. We take it out of our head, and it seems more doable, right? It's like, oh, okay. And we know writing things down helps with remembrance. That's why you take notes in class, right? So I think one for me is because I have so much going on that is just so much to do. So the things that are, say, less important, right? Yeah. But, I write down things on my calendar that are very important. The bills I got to pay, the clients I got to see, right? And things I have to do work-wise, whatever. So therefore I won't forget it. And I set alarms on my phone, right? Because I know I have these issues, right? So I'm not ignorant of my own issues. So I use those helps that I have. But because I have so much going on, which I'm assuming, is probably, the same thing with you. So I know that's my biggest reason. I'm distracted by the things that I have going on. And so some of those smaller things will just, fall by the wayside unless you text it to me or unless I write it down. It's the distractions of everything that I have to do. So that's my main thing, I believe.
Yeah. And you're not the only person. I'm sure some people, will high five you, go, I hear you. Right. Mm-hmm. And, those are also helpful tools. Write things down. I believe, we hold a lot of things within ourselves, right? And we do hold and hide our wishes, our dreams, our aspirations. And if you don't speak it out loud or talk it out loud, not even just for others, just for yourself, really, right? It doesn't become real until you voice it, right? Or you write it down. You see your own words. That means you got to hold yourself accountable, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the power of words, right? The other piece of it too, and this is kind of another discussion in a way for individuals that are dealing with ADHD symptoms, not only writing down, but like you said, put timers. Timers are very important, right? Exactly. But focus on the here and now helps you, yes, to be present, to be attentive, to be vulnerable, to be intimate with the person that's across from you. And when I mean intimate, I don't mean, I'm meaning relationships that have intimacy, closeness. It doesn't always mean sexual. I'm talking about that intimacy that you have with another person. And it doesn't even have to be of the opposite sex. Is that connection, that closeness. You will miss a whole lot of things, and don't want to get too much into it now, but I've definitely been observing when my husband and I or my family goes out to dinner, I get amazed on how many tables, no lie, how many tables are sitting with each other and they are on their phone. I'm like, yo, well, why am I like, I'll be like, well, why am I here? Like, whatever you're doing, like, do it. Like, I ain't mad at you. You got business, you got things to do for sure. But not being present misses that interaction and this intimacy and this closeness and that we have, right? As a connection. So maybe that'd be a topic for another day. I get all into this topic of intimacy and connection. So I tell, listen, I tell my family, y'all gonna be on these phones. I ain't paying for that. I ain't doing none of that. I can go home. We can do this at home, right? So anyway.
I read somewhere on social media probably a few years back, which was such a good point, talking about people at the restaurants, like you talking about, but also people that going to concerts. They're so busy filming, videoing the concert that they're not enjoying it themselves and being present with the singer or the whoever, the orchestra, whatever. You're so busy taking videos of. It's like, you can't really enjoy their experience because you're taking a video.
And it's a lot of artists that actually stop for a second and go, I'm right here. Like to see me, right?
Right.
That energy, like, in that connection. Yeah, that's a I love concept.
You miss the whole experience.
You miss the whole experience because it's experience not just seeing, it's feeling.
Right. And
Right.
that's the biggest part, the feeling.
Right. So we circle that back to ourselves and we talk about not being present with ourselves. Some of us struggle with feeling and connecting and investing in ourselves. Right. So I want us to just think about if that's something that you struggle with. So put that in your journal. Kind of ask yourself, each and every day, have I been a little bit more present today? Have I been present with myself, with my mate, with my kids? They come with a lot of questions, a lot of things. You're like, right? But are you present? Are you present with your team? If you're a leader, are you present with your team, with your peers, right? So something to think about, right? The purpose of us really coming together and talking about this journey of vision boards is because we do want to and look forward to our future, look forward to the next steps. And there's some things that just kind of get in the way. And today's first conversation is really about how do we start to navigate and think about the things we want before we create. So a lot of us just came back from, or some of us came back, because I don't want to assume holidays mean different things for different people. But we just came back from Thanksgiving. For those that cooked, please put this in the chat. Let me know your thoughts. Before the dinner actually arrived and everybody sat down, there's some things that you did beforehand. A, you had to make a decision. Do I want to do Thanksgiving? Do I want to celebrate? Is this a tradition? About to get this started, right? What's the next step after you make the conscious decision? You might think about the budget, what I'm willing to spend, what I'm willing not to spend. Is it going to be a potluck? I'm going to do the whole thing. You're still making thoughts and plans, right? What's the next step after that? Create your menu. After you create your menu, then what's the next step, Sharon? What's the next step after we create our menu? What do you think?
Well, since I don't really take part in that,
that's why I got you on that one. I got you on that
one. Okay, actually, I put the crock pot on this year. Everybody and then I added the final ingredients.
I know, I got you on that one. Right. But you know what the steps are, right?
Right.
For you. And you also, after you come up with your menu, you go to the grocery store. You're very strategic. Like when I went to the grocery store, I like to observe people. So, because that's what I do. And I just get a kick out of it, just to watch human behavior. And even for myself too, right? But everybody's very strategic on, I need this and I need that for this meal. I need this and that for this recipe, right? So you get the things that you need. Then you come home. Everything doesn't get cooked at the same time.
Right.
If you cooked a meal or you cooked a dinner party, some things happen the day before. Some things got to be day of. Some days got to start to marinate a little bit before I kind of get started. Very strategic on that plan, right? All right. What does it take in order for this thing to be executed? That's what we're doing today. We're doing all the prep work before we get into this creation of vision boards. Because if not, it starts to look like a collage. It's a whole lot of pressure. Right? You start comparing, it start being a whole fantasy world, right? And it doesn't end up being true to you. So today we are prepping, we are designing, we are laying out the foundation. We figure out what things going to apply today. What can I cook and get ready for today? What are some things I need to marinate a little bit? Oh, it's good when you marinate something, you know it's going to be good, right? It's a purpose why that takes a little bit longer, right? And be patient for that. So everything has a purpose. So for those that's out there that have their journals out and you started really thinking about this Thanksgiving dinner, right? Don't want you to be hungry this evening, but really think about what does that concept mean as you transition to your goals and dreams. and where you want to be. And everything doesn't always have to tie into financials and money and things like that. It could be, I'm hoping for a little bit more patience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
Right? I'm hoping to get rid of this fear and this worry that I had for decades, for years, right? Um, I'm nervous about getting older. I don't know what that means, right? So
Okay. The
thinking
fears are
about
real.
that prep work, yeah, real
The
life
fears are
stuff,
real.
real life stuff. I don't know what my future holds right now when certain things are going down that's not under my control, under certain certain situations,
Mm-hmm.
situationships out there in the in
Netta
certain
says, good
offices.
evening, Nikki. Good
Yeah,
evening, ladies. Netta says, hello.
yes.
Hello, Netta.
Hi. Hello. Hello. So, yes. So, this is why we're doing this prep work. And I know prep work is not always easy, but it's definitely necessary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anytime we have a plan or an assignment, right? We just don't jump into it. You got to
Right.
do the before work, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't do the before work, it's not going to, the foundation has to be solid. The foundation is not going to be solid, then it's going to be a weak plan and it's not going, the execution is not going to come out. So it's the same thing with
Correct.
this, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have another journal, another prompt. Oh, I'm having prompts today because I want to
Okay.
really think about this when we get to the next stage next week. All right.
Okay.
You're nice and ready because you tackle some of these questions. And some of these questions you're going to go, I never really thought about it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
My next question to understand self before the vision. How does your life experience shape your dreams? Let me say that again. How does your life experience shape your dreams? So I'll give you a little example. And Sharon, I don't know if you get this question as being a clinician and a therapist yourself. You either get asked by in a job interview, you might get asked by a client, you might get asked by a peer of yours. People always ask, "What make you get in this? What had you make you get in this field? Why did you want to
Mm-hmm.
become a therapist?"
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Look at that question.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And these experiences shape your dreams.
Yeah.
And there's many reasons why I was chosen to be in this field, right? I
Mm-hmm.
actually started out being a physical therapist, and I was like, oh God, oh no, this is boring. No shade to the physical therapist. I like them.
Right. Right. Right.
A wonderful physical therapist I interned with at University of Penn, Black woman, amazing. We went around with her and we did our thing, and we met with somebody, a client, a patient in the room. We moved the leg up and down, and we was like, oh, wonderful. And I did like 30 pages of paperwork, I feel. And I was like, that's all we doing today? I was like, wait a minute. And, I was like, I don't know. I think I need a little bit more action. So anyway.
Because therapy, psychotherapy was your true calling.
Right. Right.
Because that's your God assignment. That's
Yes.
why that didn't really attract you.
Oh, yeah. I went over to that computer.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you my age, when I tell you what I did, I'm telling my age. I went to the computer or that AOL dial up. Dial up, and it goes.
Yes.
I came back like, because one thing I'm gonna do is work. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm 14, but I was like, listen, I'm into this, I'm into that. What is out there for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which got me in the field of movement there, but I knew that I wanted help. Being in the health field. So when we ask, how do your life experience shape your dreams? And like I said, my story of how I got in this field is a little longer, but one thing is that I'm an 80s, 90s baby. And what was one of the things that were going on in the world in the 80s? One of
Mm.
the major things,
What?
the crack epidemic, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Didn't
And
even think that way. Okay.
those, right. And those
Yeah.
kind of experience and things I've seen kind of shift me in that direction of health. Mm-hmm. So for you, what is your life experience that shapes your dreams? Some people feel like, I always knew I wanted to have kids. I always had that passion. I just felt like I always wanted to be a mom, or I always wanted to be a dad, or I knew I was going to be in this field, or I always wanted to help. Like, something that happened to you shape where you're heading right now.
Yeah. For me, regarding being a therapist, it's just something. There wasn't like an event or things that was happening, and I know now it's because it's my God assignment. But I just always wanted to be a psychologist. I don't know where it came from. I know it's God, but I'm saying as far as an experience, I just always wanted to do that. And friends at school would always come to me and tell me stuff and ask me advice and all this kind of stuff. And one of my friends, good friends, she always called me Doc. Always. Since 8th grade, right? She was the friend. Always. She still calls me that to this day, right? So it's just been in me. Right. Now, as far as this media stuff goes, because this is also a part of what I do, but this is also too what God told me to do. But back when I was in my 20s, one of my first jobs out of college, I did a live talk show in Philly, born and raised in Philly.
Right.
And because I had a message, I don't care if it was on television, I got a message, you know what I mean? And I'm not afraid to speak it, right? And at my job, they asked who would want to do this. And, I was like, I'll do it. Nobody would. I was like, I'll do it. Right. And so, and I loved it because I love getting that message out. Right. And so I heard the voice of the Lord. I didn't have the relationship with the Lord that I have now. Right. But this was the audible voice of the Lord at the office where I work. And I was like, I'm going to do, this is what the Lord said. I'm going to do great things through you in media. Now I'm looking around because I heard this voice, right? I'm like, what? I'm looking, right? There's nobody around here. I'm just like,
oh, that was for me specifically.
That was serious, right? And again, I didn't have the relationship with the Lord like I have now. So I'm just like, okay, right. But I always remembered that. Then 20, 30, these years later, just like, wow, God spoke this to me when I was in my 20s, right? And I did different things, I did, these shows on the radio, you told me to put on social media, yada, yada, yada. And so just the God, assignments that God creates everything with purpose.
That's right.
Right.
100%.
So the therapist, as well as, the media, as well as some other things, the God wants me to author some books. It's all my purpose, why he created me. So for me, I can't point to anything, say, in the natural that said, be a therapist or do media. I wanted to do it and then follow that path.
That's right.
That's right. Now, Netta says you always expressed back that you wanted to be a psychiatrist. Well, it was really a psychologist, but in 7th grade for sure, and maybe before, but definitely in the 7th grade. So you're fulfilling the prophecy. And so if you all don't know, this is my mother. This is why she would know this.
Yes. Go ahead.
Right? So yes, I've always said I want to be a psychologist. I just find the mind, that's, I know you too, do too. It's fascinating.
Yes.
It's fascinating. Like abnormal psychology and dreams. It's just like, who wouldn't want to know this information? Right.
No, absolutely. And so I'll tell you 2 parts of that. And the thing is, while I was on dial-up, AOL, right, is that I love dancing. So, another journey for another day. Love to dance, love to choreograph. I realized over the years, I definitely love to dance.
Nikki choreographed my wedding. That's right. Remember that?
Sometimes like you forget about your whole
everything. Yes, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful.
I forgot about that. But yes. Yes. And
flashback.
Yes, I know I had a little moment. Y'all had to bring it back. But I really love to. I realized over the years I love to choreograph. Not say more of, but just I love to choreograph a little bit more than dancing, right? The creative side. So anyway, I was on there. I said, I love dancing. I love health. I love people. I love community. And I was just trying to find that connection. And next thing you know, dance movement therapy. I remember being in my office, like my office I had in my apartment at the time. Like, is this real? Like, this actually a thing? What? Like, oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And really got, and I was like, oh God, you giving me something that I can use movement and dance to also that healing factor to support people who's really struggling, right? So I'm asking you guys to really think about that. The other piece is to bring it to another level. Here we go.
Hold on, Nikki. Netta says, yes, you did, Nikki. And the dance was beautiful. Everyone loved it.
Auntie. And you know, I'm gonna take a minute to, and that's why I also took a minute to think about that. Because I'm the oldest out of 7, right? I always say, pray for me, you know, the oldest out of 7, right? But one of my sisters brought something up to me a couple years ago, sorry. And she said, you know, Nikki, I remember when you had a dance studio. And I was like, I surely did. Like, you know, well, someone that I really do admire had a dance studio, and she's like, I just want to have a dance studio. And I can't teach, but she loved arts. She loved the arts. And she did some artsy kind of things. And she said, could you run the dance studio? I bought the building. Can you do it? And I was in my 20s. Right.
Yeah.
And I was thankful for my sister to bring that to my attention, because I was like, I surely did. And I also want to bring that point up is because at that time you're hustling and moving and shaking. And I was given this opportunity, which I really appreciate still to this day and did then. But this is the moments where we stay focused on the here and now.
Right.
You know, right? Focus on what's going on right now. So I was doing 20 million things, but that was a wonderful experience. So anyway, the next thing I want us to kind of think about, please put this question in your journal to prepare for next week, is how does trauma, burnout, or being in survival mode impacts our ability to see our dreams clearly?
Can you say that again?
Yep, absolutely. How does trauma, burnout, or being in survival mode, a lot of people talk about that, impacts our ability to see our dreams clearly? So this where you might hear some people say, that can't happen to me. I wasn't born into that lifestyle, or that I didn't have those same things given to me, or people told me I would never amount to anything. When you burn out, you don't see nothing clearly, because you're going, and you're exhausted, right? Yeah. You're exhausted. So when you have the trauma, the burnout, or you have being just in survival mode every day, and I can understand that. For also some of the things that's going on in the world, we're just trying to figure out our next meal sometimes, our rent for this month. Like some of us might have just paid it, and we're trying to figure out, we got 25 days to it happen.
Right.
That's survival mode. You already thinking 25 more days, I got to do it again, right? So it's hard to see next year or the other years ahead when you're feeling stuck in this place. So I want us to identify how do these things impact of seeing our dreams clearly, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't say it can't happen, but right now you just feel stuck. And how I'm going to encourage you, because doing this work in therapy is not easy. For some of us, it might be a little necessary, depending on the symptoms are really intense. But these are questions and concepts that you can bring into therapy. Sharon.
And we know how trauma taints the lens of our life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, therefore, that's why we have trauma response, which I call a trauma reaction,
Right.
right? Because of whatever our history is, um, we see life through our experiences. And we also, too, know trauma changes the brain literally. And
Yes.
so therefore, it's going to shape how we think our dreams can or cannot manifest in
Yeah.
our present day lives or in our future.
For sure. And it causes a lot of us to just procrastinate and not see. I did a visit my page on Facebook and LinkedIn or a Substack newspaper article I wrote about procrastination this week and where that kind of comes from. We don't just say I'm tired and we feel, it don't mean you just lazy. It comes from a lot of places why we don't move forward. Right.
Right.
Right. So please check that out. And Sharon, I can always send it to you too for your listeners to dive into that
Okay.
article. And sometimes we need to reframe our visions. We're looking at our own identity, um, looking and trusting ourselves again. And sometimes we do make mistakes, and we, really feel down about ourselves and really feel guilty and shame, right?
Mm-hmm.
Around some of the mistakes that we endure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that can really keep you stuck.
Yeah. I think that, of course, in our humanity, we have so many issues, right? But the one of many, okay, thing that is just like, oh, I wish that we would just really take a hold of is not to understand mistakes are built into life.
Has
Right?
to
We're
happen.
not going to be perfect. Only God is perfect. We're going to make mistakes, right? But it's a mistake or get something wrong or whatever. It's going to happen. It's like a given. It's like in our baseline,
It is a given. What I'm
right? For
trying to tell
everybody, every
everybody.
human being. So it's
Yeah,
like it's okay. Give yourself permission to be human,
yeah,
right? But I can move from there, right? When you see the people who are, say, the most famous, the most wealthy, the most celebrated, well, whatever, they didn't get there without making mistakes,
yeah.
right?
Oh,
They were failing
absolutely.
forward as opposed to falling, you know what I mean? A failing, but not getting up, fail forward, right? That means I failed at something, but I got back up, learned the lesson of what not to do. I needed that lesson.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
know how to move forward now from it.
absolutely. And take accountability. Take account.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not always easy. And whether you gotta put your tail between your legs or you gotta go like this or whatever.
But
Um,
it's okay.
and
It's
it's okay.
necessary.
It's necessary for you to move forward. There's been times where
Mm-hmm.
I look back, I go, oh God. Like it could be a random moment like, oh Lord, did I say that actually? Or
Mm-hmm.
did I do that? You know?
Right,
I'm like,
right.
ooh, right. I do forgive myself for it because not no excuse, but like I give myself grace, like I
Grace.
didn't know, or I was at this age, I didn't know better. That's why now I'm like, oh God, and it was a time where I had to go back to circle back to somebody and go, so remember when 1990, well, and they looking at me like, girl, I'm like, you probably didn't think about it, but I didn't realize how,
It was necessary for you to go back,
right.
right?
I
Because
need
that was a part of
like
your
youth
healing.
development. Right,
Hmm.
right.
Hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know we have a couple more minutes. Um, One of the things about creating a vision board in our vision, and this happens to a lot of people, we have to just sometimes identify and normalize where we are at the moment, right? And not compare ourselves to others. Now, doing this work, I have groups with adults, I have groups with teens, young adults, um, early intervention, so kids that's in preschool and kindergarten. So I see a wide range of individuals. And yes, we're talking about at times social media, how we look and we compare. That is one form, but we actually do it in many different ways, right? How much do we compare ourselves in our family systems,
Hmm.
right? So this is something to jot down, folks. All right. How much do we compare ourselves within each generation? So I know it's like, all these terms, Gen X and what is it, millennials and whatever the other decades that we go through. But sometimes we do compare ourselves, and it gets a lot of, it causes people a lot of stress and anxiety, where they'll come in their sessions and go, I feel like at this age I should be married.
That's a big one right there.
Oh God. And then when I look, and sometimes like I meet with a client and then I go to myself, if I got their chart nearby, whatever, sometimes I gotta look at the age like one more time. Like, you're only 21. Like I know how old they are, but I'm like, well, maybe I got it wrong, because you feel like you should be doing all these things. Yes, where do you get it from? Yeah. And a lot of times you hear, well, I'm not sure. I think that's just what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to do that. So whether you look at your grandparents' age, where they got married very young for various different reasons, we won't go down that train right now.
Different
generations, or I should have this 6-figure job at 19. No, not like, please go for that job. But right. It's the cognitive distortions. The this is where it is. This is what it should be.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of thing. So we compare ourselves to those generations, our family systems, and yes, in social media as well.
Absolutely. And it's a trap. The Bible talks about not comparing yourselves to others, right? Because there's always going to be somebody who's doing something bigger, better, different, whatever.
You believe,
right?
But anyway.
Right. You know what I mean? And so it's like you'll always be behind the 8 ball if you're looking, at someone else and putting God on it. If we're following God's plan, we're always on time.
Yeah.
Right. And he redeems the time even when we step out of his time.
Right.
Right. So if we focus on him and not others, then we'll always be in right step.
Yeah.
Right. And because it's not about them. It's about what he has for us right now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, sure. That's it.
And the lessons that you need to learn before you get to that stage.
Exactly. Right. There you go.
Right.
There you go. Because we see, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you good. You good.
So we see so many people fall from grace, right? They get a big name and now everybody knows them, but scandal happens, right? And not saying scandal can't happen any other time when, you're just doing the right thing, so to speak. Right. But when we step out of timing and when we don't have our foundation sure, right, and do those first things first,
right,
and to I want to say to the best of our ability, but to make the foundation sure, then when we get there, we've already dealt with our issues, right? We got to deal with ourselves. Like we're dealing with ourselves with this vision board in this first session. Yeah. As opposed to just creating a vision board that's like, that ain't even going to work out in 2026. You didn't even deal with you.
Nope.
Right? That's why I said at the beginning of the show, this is not going to be a vision board that you did before, because we're dealing with self first.
Correct.
Right? Because it's therapeutic. And so we don't deal with ourselves first. When we get fame, our lusts are on display because now we have more access to whatever those things are that's in us that we can't control. Oh, right. Absolutely. So it's like, you better control that stuff. You better get that stuff under control, because when you get up there and have access to anyone, anybody, anything, it's going to come out.
That's it. That's it. Out. For sure. For sure. And I have many testimonies of that. And many testimonies. And when we think about preparation, we might be preparing for multiple things. Like, it's, there's been a theme. Well, I believe in the power of 3, which if something been mentioned 3 times this week, is like, oh, maybe I need to and tap into that. But change is difficult for me at times, right? For various different reasons, right? And dealing with change is something you have to be patient for, to be it's a reason for that change, even if it's not right now, give it to you for later, right?
And not afraid of change.
Not afraid of change, right? And I always thought I was going to have one child, one and done. I always would tell people, one and done. They're like, one and done. And and when I unfortunately got diagnosed with breast cancer, I had to go through that whole treatment. Another story for another day, to do a vision. And I was blessed in that transition with a daughter. I was pregnant during the treatment, etc. during the pandemic. But I was like, God, what are you trying to do? This 8 years later, I'm having a daughter. Like what? And not only is she meant to be here, and everybody knows that when they meet her, but I always say, my son kind of started my life, and my daughter created even more purpose. Why she's here and what's going on, right? Everybody around me created, where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing, even if I didn't know what it was.
Right.
I was like, oh God, I'm this age and I'm about to be pregnant. And I was like, it must be something moving forward that needs to happen. And yeah, so she saved my life for sure, is what I'm for many different reasons during that time.
Yeah.
So I want us to think about a couple of questions. Here we go. I know I have a couple of them. I'm going to pick I have 5, so I'm going to pick 2 because I gave you guys a lot today. So we're going to do more, and we're going to figure out, we're going to close out with a couple thoughts and a couple of inspiration for next week, right? So I'm gonna pick 2 questions. Okay. All right, you ready, Sharon? Because I know you on the
yes, ma'am.
The 1 and 2. So, first question would be, who am I today? It's the same question, by the way.
Okay.
Who am I today? Not who I was. Not who I'm trying to be, but just right now. All right, here we go. Who am I today? Not who I was, because we got to get stuck on that one too. Not who I'm trying to be, just right now.
Okay.
We're focused on the here and now. All right. And what needs healing before building something new? I picked that one.
Before building something new?
Yep. Because we're talking about this vision and building next week. So what needs to heal before building something new?
Okay.
All right. And while you're typing that up, that can be definitely a hard thing to kind of tackle. And it's not to say you got to tackle before next week, before we create, but it's just something to keep in mind, because a vision board doesn't have to be completed within a year, right? And we'll talk about that next week. It
should evolve, right?
It evolves and it changes. And I'll show you mine that I have. It's a couple years old. Something I keep it for multiple. We'll talk about it next week. But some things I'm like, ooh, I did that, right? I'm like, I'm working on it. It kind of gives that constant reminder, but also we're human. We need that kind of pat in the back and good job to keep us going. So it gives me that reminder, like, I really worked hard on that. Or so it doesn't need to be worked on by next week. It just needs to be identified. That's it.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Good job.
That's a continual, not all of these are, but it's a continual question to ask, because we should always, in my opinion, be working on something new. So I constantly have to think about, what do I need to be healed before I do this?
Yeah.
We
might have to start that question for next week, like start off.
So
we did excellent work today, everybody.
Yes.
Your paper is full with the questions, full with thoughts and ideas. And please feel free to just message us or reach out to us or come back next week, same time, same place, 8:00. And we can always revisit some of the questions. I have them written down. Like I said, I'm a little old school. I come with my notes on the side,
Right.
So I have it with me because it's very intentional, right? These questions are very intentional in the concept. So definitely feel free to reach out and let us know if you miss anything. So we start off this workshop series with focus on the here and now and grounding. So I'm going to ask you to do two things before we close out, before Sharon closes us out. One thing is I'm going to ask you to just take a breath again. You might go, woo, Lord, that was a lot. That was a lot I had to think about. So take a breath on that one. All right, so here we go. We're going to take a breath in. And then we're going to let out. I always make a sound with mine. It's like, get it out. And the last thing I'm going to ask you to do before Sharon close out is just find a way to ground yourself and give yourself some grace and and give yourself some positive affirmation that you are beginning this journey. It is brave of you to do so. It's not easy to just look inside yourself and want to make changes or want to make changes for you, not for others so much, right? But for yourself. Because whatever you do for yourself, everybody around you benefits, right? So you're doing it for you, right? But you got to create boundaries with somebody, or you got to focus on your own spirit or how you carry yourself each and every day, and whatever it may be. So I say that you are brave in doing this work. And brave, that means fear gets in the way sometimes, and we kind of navigate and going through the fear to get to the other side. And that takes bravery. Every time you got to move a branch, every time you got to move through, it's scary. You don't know what's going to come next, but you're willing to do that because you know what's going to happen on the other side. And that comes with also having your faith. You know what's on the other side. I just got to figure out how to get through. But I know God has put me in that position right there that I'm going to look forward to.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nikki. Romain.
I know about whatever, Yes.
This has been so impactful. And I think the insight that it will provide for those of us who are participating is priceless. Because again, it's a therapeutic vision board, right? It's a therapeutic experience. And so, we delve deeper into ourselves, which is so important because, unfortunately, a lot of us tend to live haphazardly. We just wake up, do the same thing, and then the next day do the same thing. And it's like, then it's 5 years later, 10 years later, right? It's like, where did the time go? Right. Don't you want, your like the Bible says, your latter to be greater than your former? That means we've got to step back, do some self-reflection, which is what this is, some self-introspection. And like, okay, if you want something different, you got to do something different, right? The definition of insanity, doing the same thing, expecting a different result. This is going to help you get that different result that you're looking for, because it's not, the typical vision board. This is a self-reflective, introspective vision board that will evolve with you over time, should evolve with you over time, because we're ever changing, right? And so we course correct as we go, but we're constantly reflecting on ourselves, and we should be growing.
That's right.
And as we grow, the vision may turn out to be a little bit different because I'm not in the same place I was. That was my vision then when I was stuck in trauma, right? But now that I'm healed and I can see more clearly, the sky is not my limit, right? And so, that's like a beautiful thing. But if we just put down, oh, I want a car, I want a house, I want some money.
Like, why? But why? Yeah, like why? And
who doesn't want those things?
Yes. And I'm having my in-person vision board, in a couple months over the summer. We'll talk about that when it gets near.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll touch on that. One of the things I really want us to do, and I'm going to challenge couples. I really want to see a couple's vision board.
That's good.
I want to see, because baby,
Do you see a lot of couples in your practice?
Oh yeah, I love couples therapy. Oh,
So do I. That's my favorite group of people to have.
It's my
I see a lot of
favorite.
couples. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of couples, and this is why I'm saying it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
It's so necessary.
you know, let's do it. Listen, we
Maybe
go
we
out
should
to
do a
dinner, we
couple
go to concert halls.
visioning experience
Let's,
workshop.
yeah, you'll be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll talk.
We'll talk about it. Okay, well, thank you so much, Romain, for joining us and sharing, lending your expertise to the audience. We really appreciate it. And you guys, if you watch on the replay because you weren't able to watch live, that's fine. Still put your questions or comments in the chat. And Nikki, I'll forward them over to Nikki if she doesn't see it. And so she will answer those questions that she can, right, in that chat, or come back to watch us next week for part 2 of this therapeutic visioning experience, and she will answer those questions there as well, because more than likely, if you have that question, someone else has that question as well. And so we want to provide that information for you. So we appreciate you watching live or on the replay. We appreciate however you watch, and please share the video. Don't keep all this great wonderful information to yourself. Share it, like the page, like the video, follow the page, subscribe, however you're watching. Do all those great wonderful things, because that's how we're able to grow the channel or the page, so we can get more people to watch, because we want people to grow and to learn. This is not, your average channel or page.
Absolutely.
Right? This is God's design. It was his vision through me. I didn't think this up, right? And so it's with purpose. It's with God's purpose, that he wants to get something to you, and he's using us to do it. We're just the vessels. You see us, see him.
Right.
You hear us, hear him, right? It's not us. We're not trying to gain fame and glory, right? All the glory goes to God. But we want to grow this community so we can support and encourage each other through this process, because life is challenging, right? And so when you walk together, right, with folk of like mind and who are moving in the same direction, and same direction is just forward, right? And now we can grow and go together. There's safety in numbers, right? And there's encouragement in numbers. Get rid of the naysayers in your life. If there's people who are not encouraging you along your journey, they don't need to be on your journey. Right, that's a hint right there. Anybody who's trying to pull you, drag you out of the faith that you know what God told you, no, they gotta go. And I say gotta go, you know what I mean? Love them from a distance type of thing, right? Everybody is not supposed to go where God is leading you, right? So be mindful of that. Sometimes we want to drag people and pull people along, and that's why it's not working out. But God says they're not going where you're going.
On their own journey,
and it's okay. Doesn't mean you don't love them.
That's right.
But God has something specific for you, right? And so this channel, this network, Full Life Communications, and all the shows and the guests that we have on are doing God's work to get you where he wants you to go, not where we want you to go. But he wants you to go, because he has a purpose. He created you and all of us with purpose. He's trying to get that purpose out of us. No matter how much we fight to the purpose, right? He's trying to get that out of us. And so we're just, being humble. And allowing God to use us as he chooses to. So Netta says, I really enjoyed the show tonight. Way to go, Nikki. Or should I say, Romain.
I hear that.
All right. So thank you again, Romain. We really appreciate you sharing your time with us. And I so look forward to the next 2 weeks with this vision board. Oh, can you speak to this? So I know there's different types of, as far as mediums that we use to do vision boards. So how should we do it?
So be prepared next week. These are multiple items you can bring, or collections. So you can, if you want to pull up your Canva, go ahead, bring that.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes, you could definitely.
Okay.
And one thing I did in my vision board event, because some people get very overwhelmed with the big poster boards. If you want a big one, great. If you want a 11 by 14, what is it? A piece of paper, for sure. If you want a regular old, 8 by what, bring that.
8.5 by 11.
Bring your journal. They have nice journals, by the way, that are like vision boards. You open up the book, and you can create it right there in your front of your notebook, right? Don't overthink it. The major thing about it, and we'll talk about it next week, is you want whatever medium, a piece of paper, etc., you want to bring, a trifold, whatever it is, you really just want to have access to it. you want to make sure it's something you can see each and every day. So if you want to bring something that you can't see or keep with you, that might not be helpful. So bring any of the, or even if you have sticky notes, you want to bring sticky notes and place them around. Let's do it, right? Bring yourself, as they say in Israel, bring yourself, as you are, and with your intentions, and like I said, it's ever evolving the vision board. So just bring your stuff in, and we go from there.
Awesome. All right, you guys, that's our time. We will see you back here, same place, same time, Office Hours with Sharon, with our special guest therapist, Romain Diaz. Next Thursday, 8 p.m. The next 2 Thursdays, she's going to be continuing this visioning experience, therapeutic visioning experience. And we so look forward to it. Again, thank you, Nikki. Thank you all who watched live and on the replay. You're so welcome. You're welcome anytime. We're probably going to do a show together in the future. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling, host and host.
Yes. I love it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a good evening. Have a God evening. Have a God week. Shalom.
Have a good time.